Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up. The line's wrapped around the stadium. Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, welcome in to a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, built by RMB Builders, live here on this Wednesday. Hit that like button, share button, comment button, as we will be here with you until after 8 a.m. Jacques sent a late text message this morning claiming he's got food poisoning.
Sick to his stomach.
Put it in the poll, Stewie. Do we believe Jacques' food poison excuse here on this Wednesday after a late LSU baseball game in Hammond, America that was not streamed? Whoever made that phone call, that had to be a tough phone call.
Blackout game.
I'm going with I believe Jacques. I believe Jacques. I think Jacques is he likes the Wednesday hit. He likes coming in. He likes driving over.
You get the unencumbered Jacques here.
I think he's sick. I believe him.
All right, I'll believe
you
him.
in? You out?
I'm in. No, I'm in on Jacques.
Right,
now,
right,
if it was Shay again, then I would not believe
Never.
it. I have migraines. Like
Never.
Shay, yeah, me too.
Yeah, right, seriously.
No to migraines.
Take another hit.
Right? Yeah.
See what happens.
I can fix that.
Right. So no Jacques. Jacques did ask for a makeup day. We said Friday. We were going to go with Friday on Jacques. Tomorrow we got Josh Pate locked in. So we get an update on college football from Pate. So Friday we'll talk to Jacques. Wednesday we're open. I got a text into Big Glenn West, the big 7-footer from 247. See if we can get an update from him on some spring football, some basketball, and last night LSU baseball.
He's about
steamrolls through.
We think.
Southeastern 10-0. No, I listened to it on the radio. Baseball's a good radio sport.
Well, Blair's great at it.
Blair is good.
Because we tried to, I mean, if you don't know.
By the way, Blair on Thursdays as well.
Yeah, obviously. If you don't know, Cajunomics tried his best. He put up a four different SEC games.
A $4.
He did a $4 with the LSU radio call over it. He's like, I'm trying to give the people what they want. And so shout out to that man because he is the stream god. Yes. But I assume LSU won. Apparently they rolled 10-0.
10-0.
Dugas seems like he's back.
That was great to see. That was the highlight of the night.
Absolutely.
2-run bomb by Dugas, couple of hits, looked good in the field. They got to have him, man. They got to have him for LSU. For LSU to accomplish everything they want to this season, they got to have Gavin Dugas in the lineup. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by RMB Builders, and our phone lines brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group, Real Doctors, Real Solutions. Our good friends Charles Harvey and Jason Ramazan over at Metropolitan Health Group. Shout out to them every day here over at the Jordy Culotta Show. Big news yesterday in the college football world.
Somber day.
It was announced did you see the playoff field of 12 schedule? was announced.
First
Round going to be on campus.
Yep, first round on campus, baby.
Going back to school.
They're bringing back the New Year's Eve.
Stewie, actually go to graduate school. Get them tickets.
I might actually have to.
Just for one game a
Stewie.
year.
Might have to make the call to
Throw the
D.
show a
Jacobson.
line. See, we can't get into grad school.
Yeah.
Steve.
Oh yeah, we're in great standing with D. Jacobson.
You are, but I am.
I don't even think there's what. I guess I get my PhD.
Yeah. In sport admin.
Sport admin. I guess that's how you become a teacher.
I'm a doctor of sports.
I know there's a job I could maybe go to. There's somebody at John Carroll that maybe might be hiring.
And then some news here on the LSU front was that Brian Polian was officially hired to be the next athletics director at his alma mater, John Carroll University, where he is off to be the director of athletics there. He was serving as the general manager of football at LSU after spending a season under Brian Kelly as a special teams coordinator. And I'm not a big I told you so guy in this business, because the day that you said I told you so, tomorrow something's going to happen where you just unexpected. So I don't like to keep a scoreboard in this business,
But-
just because it's never really served anybody great. But in this instance, if you were listening to the show, this is something that we have been talking about and really confident that was going to happen since the end of the year. We've got great relationships inside LSU football, whether it's at the administrative level, whether it's on the coaching level, whether it's at the player level, or whether it's at the support staff level. We are very confident in the people that we talk to each and every week to get updates about what's going on in and around the program. And when I tell you that every resource that I had at every level of that within LSU football told me that Brian Polian was going to be out as soon as the season was over, and was going to be out to a degree where they were trying to find him another job, and that he was not going to be back at LSU. And one thing that you can take away from this is that Brian Kelly sincerely likes Brian Polian, and that he is a really good friend to Polian. And in this world, we all need really good friends. And one thing I can say as an outsider to that relationship is that Brian Kelly is a good friend to Brian Polian. Because by all accounts, Polian, he didn't have the choice to come back. He wasn't in a position where he was going to have a spot on the staff, and Kelly kind of putting him as the general manager and keeping him on staff and salary was a solid. That was a good friend doing another friend a solid. Because in the meantime of him being out of the special teams coach and being named as the general manager, he was on a job tour. He was trying to find a job per direction of LSU. Get out there, go find a job. In the meantime, we'll find a spot for you, keep you on the payroll, and not put out on your resume really what's happening. And really what happened to Brian Polian, if we're calling it like it is, was that he was terminated from his position as special teams coach. He was told that he won't have a role in the program and needed to find a job. And after 3 months of looking, there wasn't a job out there that needed or was looking for him.
Home.
Living like a college graduate.
I'm coming home.
And I mean, it was LSU kind of like, well, now what? And they were like, well, I guess we can stuff him as the general manager and put him over here and put his office, like near the stairwell in the back of the building and just let him walk around on the spring game with a headset on. I mean, like, if anybody's paying attention, what purpose was there? And look, I'm not pointing and laughing on the way out, and I do want to show respect, but I do believe that people need to know the truth about this position and about Polian's role on staff. People that are reacting and saying that this is a big loss for LSU, I hate to break it to you. You would be so far removed from understanding what is going on day to day within LSU if that's your opinion. If you think that Brian Polian meant a big and large amount to the recruiting department, well, then I would ask you, give me one recruit that said Brian Polian was the key to landing at LSU. And I'm not trying to be harsh, but I'm just, from a recruiting coordinator standpoint, the day that we had Jamar Cain on this show last summer, after Cain had an enormous day in recruiting, we were throwing flowers at Cain and talking about how great it was that the staff was really having success in recruiting, because that was one of the question marks that you had in, Kelly coming from a different part of the country and bringing a staff together, was whether or not they were going to be able to recruit in that part of the country. And Cain had an enormous day. It was a day that they picked up Jackson Howard and Deshaun Womack and, all these guys. They picked up the big guy from Atlanta that ended up decommitting and going to Auburn after I believe he had a death in the family and wanted to stay near his immediate family. But it was that week, and he had a huge week, and we were throwing flowers at Cain, and Cain came on the show, and we were talking about the success. And immediately after the show, about 45 minutes after the show, I got a call from Brian Polian stating that almost I was too nice to Jamar Cain, and that recruiting efforts was a team-wide effort and was something that, as the recruiting coordinator, he didn't want to focus on individuals and spotlight individuals as like recruiting superstars. And as he was talking, I was kind of like looking at the phone thinking like, this is so weird. This is the recruiting coordinator talking about one of his lieutenants out on the road having a great week, and somebody who talks about the program showering them with love and talking about how great of a job they did and how good at their job they are. And their boss kind of calling and saying like, almost, we were out of line. And I thought in that moment, and I remember in that moment thinking, this job is way too big for Brian Polian. It's enormously going to eat him up, because the one thing I thought in that moment was that he's insecure as a football coach. If you're worried about who's getting compliments from the media on big-time recruits, then you're worried about the wrong stuff. Your priorities are out of whack, right? And from that conversation on, I never thought that Brian Polian was going to be a good fit as the recruiting coordinator at LSU. He had no understanding of the temperature, of the emotion, of the character that LSU was going after. And I don't know Brian Polian personally. I've interviewed him. I've talked to him on the phone a couple of times. So I don't know him like in depth, but What I do know is that it just was not a good fit at LSU. And it wasn't a good fit, especially from a recruiting coordinator standpoint. We saw what played out at special teams. And I think, we credited Brian Kelly in the moment for stepping up and saying he's got to find a new special teams coordinator if he wants to be competitive on the field. Off the field in recruiting, there was never a connection made between an individual player and that spot that made any sense to have the recruiting coordinator title. A recruiting coordinator and his responsibility is to first understand the strengths of his staff, right? Do you remember us talking about last year when Frank Wilson was spending time in Georgia and in Florida during key recruiting periods, during key recruiting moments? That's not understanding the strengths of your staff. Frank Wilson needs to be in a car and needs to have access to the state of Louisiana. Wherever he wants to go, whoever he wants to talk to, whatever player he feels like is a priority, whoever he feels like is on the top of his board, he needs to go recruit. He doesn't need to ask for permission or be sent anywhere by someone who obviously doesn't understand the strengths of the personnel that he is directing. And there were times that you just were thinking, this just doesn't make a lot of sense. So to the section of the crowd that may think that Brian Polian is a big loss, I would tell you that, again, this is another ode to Brian Kelly and his commitment to winning being at the forefront, knowing that he's got to bring in the best people who fit for the SEC and LSU football. And after 1 year, Polian just didn't fit. He didn't fit as the recruiting coordinator. He didn't fit as the special teams coordinator. He didn't fit as the general manager. The responsibilities of the general manager who is overseeing NIL relationships with players and business owners, you got to know the business owners. We know the business owners around town. We sell advertisement and we talk to them at functions all over the place. We have them on the show. Those people don't know Brian Polian. They wouldn't know Brian Polian from a crowd of two if he walked into a door. They sure as hell wouldn't answer his phone call. They don't have his number stored. But that's the responsibility of that role. That's what you have to have. That's what you have to do. And it just never made sense. It wasn't a good fit. It wasn't anything. I don't think it's personal. I don't think that it never made sense where Polian fit in on the staff. So I think this is a great opportunity for LSU to bring in another superstar to their staff, because the general manager role it's a big spot. It's a big spot on college football staffs now because of the development of NIL, because the development and now the access with the transfer portal and in recruiting. They have to be able to have relationships. To me, you know who the perfect representative, the perfect character, the perfect person to be a general manager for LSU football is? Jordan Arcemall. He cannot walk into any room where he is not either the center of attention and knows everybody there. Players, coaches, business people, football people. It doesn't matter. I've seen Arcemall now work rooms and be at 7-on-7 events and be on the sideline of college football games. He knows everybody. That's the role. That's the responsibility. That should be the job description. Not necessarily being the most popular guy in the room, but being able to work the room, being able to have relationships where I can recruit and I can raise money, and I can do both and put them together. that is the responsibility, and they've already got that guy on staff. And Arsenal's a superstar within all levels that we were just talking about. Administration, coaching, recruiting, all of that. And now you have an opportunity to either bring another one like him in, elevate him and bring somebody else in, but just get better as a staff. And I think Brian Kelly understands that because his staff, as we've always said, has been exceptional. But there's always been that outlier where you're like, there's one that just doesn't make sense. And after a year on the job, they're replacing that person with hopefully another young superstar who can work rooms, fit in. And I don't want to, come across that we're just banging on Brian Polian, but I do want it to be understood that this is not detrimental to LSU. This is not something that LSU cannot overcome. This is not something that has really affected LSU. Right? I mean, think about it. I've seen people out there talk about his recruiting capability and his ability to discover talent and look at talent. If that was the case, why would they remove him as the recruiting coordinator after a year? I mean, think about it. If he's such a good judge of talent and such a good recruiter, well, then why would you remove him from that role without any? I mean, you didn't have to do it. You did it because it just didn't work out. It just didn't fit. So I think LSU's got a great opportunity to get better by bringing somebody else in, somebody that does fit, and putting them into a pretty key role that means a lot to college football teams, college football programs, and to building for the future. So, look, yesterday is that's positive news for LSU. I mean, that's the opportunity to bring another person in to help the program out. So,
build the fence.
We'll read your comments. We'll take your interaction, as always.
It is a Wednesday, so they can call in.
You can call in.
What's the number?
225-229-7741.
There we go. Or else you'll have a old Verizon phone buzzing.
Lucius Felder. Kevin Falk should be your GM. Move on. Good choice.
Yeah.
Duron Tross, I trust BK to hire who he feels is the right person to hire. Agreed. Jeffrey Bone, Jordy, new NIL liaison for the athletic department. Love that. Hunter All, when is the Culotta Show getting the BK office sit-down interview? We find out today. I spoke to Michael Bonnet on Monday. Rob Boudreaux, losing Polian.
What a coincidence.
Losing 100 pounds you don't want. It feels great. Jeffrey Bone, Frank Cortez, Davis Sloan, Louisiana, the rest of the staff, rest of the country.
Louisiana guys.
So, some of your reaction.
And doesn't it feel good to kind of escape what LSU used to be, a little bit of the good old boys club, where I'm not going to keep somebody on staff just to keep them on staff. I think BK has seen the gravity of this job, what it takes to win here, and he's not taking that lightly. He sees the amount of talent, the amount of resources that LSU can bring you in. And if it feels like, if you want to say 100 pounds, if you whatever you want to call it, a little bit of dead weight, for him to make this decision right now feels like there was something brewing. And for him to be able to cut bait like that shows how seriously he is taking this job. It is not something just for your friends or family.
No, like I said, I think this has been it's been a great sign for LSU fans to see Brian Kelly move on positions like that and on people like that. I mean, and I say like that, I just mean somebody that's close to him, somebody that is that means a lot to
The only guy that
to
came
him.
with him.
Right, absolutely. I think, Jordan Arsenal would be a great fit for a GM. And then you have an opportunity. I just saw Cordell Music has a great, bring somebody like Mason Smith back. There's one person that wanted Mason Smith out of the building. Guess who? The person who felt like Mason Smith was a threat. Right? There's
Arsenal was a threat.
There's 185 people inside of LSU football from a day-to-day operations standpoint. It only takes one or two to really poison the whole thing, right? You can have so many good people, but if you have one poisonous apple, you have one bad apple, it can take over. And I can tell you there is a ton of relief, breaths of fresh air that is hit every level of LSU football today, just by knowing that you don't have to watch over your shoulder. You don't have to watch what you say. You don't have to watch your back. You don't have to do all these things that you have to do when people are not on the same page. And it was obvious that there was just not a good fit. And somebody like Mason Smith is a young version of Jordan Arsenal. And not that Jordan Arsenal is old at all, but just somebody that's just a little bit younger that does the same thing. Relationship build, know the players, recruit, bring guys like that in. Who got Malik Neighbors to LSU? Mason Smith. That's how Malik Neighbors ended up at LSU. You know why he was committed to Mississippi State? Mason Smith is why he was committed to Mississippi State. If Mason Smith was on staff right now, I'd be willing to say that Jacoby Matthews would have had a lot more to think about in the offseason. It's just about relationships. It's just about being able to pick the phone up and call that guy when you need football players. And that's what LSU is in the business of doing. And people like that are
invaluable.
You cannot put a price tag on them, man.
LSU recruited Will Campbell. I know that was an easy one to get to LSU, but Mason Smith.
Oh yeah.
That's who he had the best relationship with. We can sing Mason Smith's praises all day because the stories are out there. What he did recruiting while Ed Orgeron was under the gun, and how he did his best to hold the recruiting class together without no guarantee of a job, speaks volumes of how good he can be either here, and it's obviously if you're able to get him back, you take him away from a quote-unquote rival at A&M.
Justin Abington. Jordy interviewed Polian and had nothing but praise afterward. Now he hates them. We keep replaying this story with Jordy, Coach O, Les Miles, Panamsky. Justin, I interviewed Brian Polian, I believe his second week on the job at LSU. I had no idea who Brian Polian was. The first time I had ever talked to him in my life was the time that I picked up the phone from him and had that interview. And in those 20 minutes, I loved what I heard. I loved what I heard from Coach Polian. After hearing that interview, sure, I had praise for him in that moment. But then having more time to evaluate and listen to feedback from people that work with him day in, day out, from recruits that take phone calls from him, from coaches that take phone calls from him, that coaches that work alongside him, to administrators that work above him, to people that work with and around him.
Recruits.
That's now my opinion of him. So, look, Justin, man, I know in this business you want to hold me hostage for something that I may say, but you have the right to change your opinion when you learn more information. And after learning more information about Brian Polian, he's not a good fit at LSU. And there's a lot of people who are really sprinting and doing their job a lot better today than they were doing 2 weeks ago when people like him are in the way. And that's just the facts. And I'm just here to tell you the truth, right? Whether it's, you want to label it as wishy-washy and dancing around opinions, okay. But that's the facts of it. I talked to Polian in his second week on the job. Did I have praise for him in the moment after talking to him? Yes. After learning a lot more about him, not a good fit. Not a good fit. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal. Those are our friends over there. Get in touch with them today. If your roof is 8 years or older, you qualify for a free inspection from our friends over at Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal. They can help you with residential roofing, commercial roofing, gutters and awnings, metal roofing. If you want to get in touch with Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal, easiest way to do that is premiersouthla.com. premiersouthla.com. That's in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, whether you're in the North Shore or over in New Orleans. Check out Premier South today. Online, premiersouthla.com. They are Louisiana's premier roofing experts in quality and in service. Find out for yourself today. Get the pros out. Get an inspector up on your roof. Let them find out and tell you. They'll work directly with the insurance company and make sure you get every penny you deserve to get that new roof. Get it from our friends over at Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal, the top roofing pros in our state. Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal. Online, premiersouthla.com, premiersouthla.com. LSU baseball rolls last night, 10-0 over Southeastern. They get over to Hammond America and find out they got no Wi-Fi. ESPN can't go live with their stream, so no ESPN Plus last night for LSU baseball as they take care of business. Shutout over Southeastern was the 8th of the year for LSU, which leads the country. LSU now has recorded 12 run rule victories this season. Last night, as Lloyd said earlier in the show, hero was Gavin Dugas. Collected 3 hits, including a 2-run bomb last night. That was good to see for LSU. It was another shutout for the Tigers, as we said, the 8th of the year for LSU, which leads the country in that department. Dugas was batting leadoff last night. He went 3 for 4. He had a 2-run homer. He got hit by a pitch. He scored 3 runs. My guy was balling last night. That was great to see.
If you can get him right, if that's any indication, because there was a lot of, I guess some of the stats were coming out of him post-shoulder injury and what he was looking at the dish, and he was batting, I believe, below 200. And so you started to see some of the effects of maybe is he 100%, but then you see him playing in all the midweek games. So it obviously was just a matter of him getting comfortable again, because if you've ever separated your shoulder or had an AC joint, it's a pain tolerance thing. And if there's nothing more you can do to it. And so it's just a matter of getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And so that's why they kept putting him out there. You see him start to be a bit more of a free swinger at the plate. And if that's something that's going to happen, you have Tommy White go deep again.
Yeah.
It makes the LSU lineup just that much more dangerous. And I mean, like I said, if you can get Dugas right, there are literally 0 breaks in that lineup. And we do have a little bit of, I don't want to say breaking news that we expected, but not that you wanted to hear. Garrett Edwards now out for the year with a torn UCL. It is officially confirmed by Leah Van. He was seen in the sling, so obviously surgery has occurred. There was a bit of, I guess, speculation, maybe some good news whenever you saw him at least throwing something. When he was throwing a football in the outfield, you thought maybe. So obviously they went through every bit of, information you can get, whether it be a second opinion, third opinion, but at the end of the day, it comes down that you need surgery. But if you can take anything good from this, you see Gavin Guidry get the start last night. He gets away with the win. So you're starting to see other people step up in that role. So LSU, while you lose 2 guys to UCLs, you still feel like you're
3 now for the year, huh?
Oh yeah.
When you date back to the beginning of the year.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And the way that LSU was kind of started, especially when you look at what they did last year with the way that they had to maneuver the pitching staff and just kind of plug and play and always having to make a move, they're conditioned to do this. But you're starting to see some guys step up into their roles where, all right, the puzzle pieces are starting to come together, and you feel really good about where LSU baseball is right now, especially since they're coming off a 0-2 in the midweek now, Coach. Now they go, get right the ship.
First career start last night for Gavin Guidry. He was credited with the win. He's now 3-0. He worked 2 1/3 last night. He limited Southeastern to no runs, no hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. So the freshman last night really looked good on the mound. But LSU offensively mashed the ball as the Tigers were led by senior Gavin Guidry. Dylan Cruz last night he scored on a wild pitch. He also produced a run on a fielder's choice. Tommy White who Lloyd mentioned, hit a home run last night, delivered a 2-run home run to give LSU that 10-0 lead. Now leads the country with 73 ribbies, and he hit his 16th home run last night. So Tommy White definitely working out here at LSU in his first season as the transfer Tiger here in his sophomore year.
And he has to come back.
He's got to come back.
He's got to come back.
And I guarantee you that NIL deal is worth 2 years.
Oh, I mean, I'd imagine so. I mean, you might see a couple more chains on old Tommy Tanks
No
next
doubt
year.
about it.
Wait, didn't somebody mess with him? Somebody messed with him about his chains last night.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
How did you see any of this?
JD was on the live tweet.
Wow, that's a nice little insider info for the Southern
For the
High
whole
Center poll
team?
question. Do we believe Jacques?
So
Is
I
he
told you
real
they
with-
have those daiquiri machines out
Is
there
he
in the
real
outfield.
with his
yeah, so-
claim of food poisoning here this morning? Why he's missing his Wednesday
A
hit?
little ham and hangover.
Might be at extra innings last night.
Yeah, somebody was messing with Tommy White about his chains, and he gave him the chain shake.
He
I
could have
love
just
Tommy
popped
White.
one off and gave one to him.
Yeah,
I
Here.
love the Tiger tat.
yeah.
Oh,
same.
yeah. I'm in. Committed.
I love it, man.
And then if you're worried about
Be
what
tough
the,
to transfer on that one.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm committed. It's like getting a tattoo for your wedding.
Right.
Like, I think
Damn, I gotta
I'm
keep
to figure out how to cover this thing up. I don't know
You
what
can
I'm
always be
gonna
like
do.
Jacob Hester, though. Hester got the Longhorn tat when he committed to Texas in high school.
Where?
I think he got it like right here.
Oh, he got it covered up. And who?
What do you get it covered
Oh,
up with, Tiger?
I think he did
eyes?
like a Bible verse. Name of his 6 kids.
Got one on the way.
He's got one on the way.
Jesus.
Finally,
I mean,
ran out of
he's got a
testosterone.
He's got a basketball team.
Finally ran out of testosterone. And he's having a girl.
Damn, it's tough.
Oh,
Golly.
between him and Phillip Rivers,
That's what, I mean. That's his old.
they could put
landlord.
together 11.
H. Jordan extra innings has been closed since 2009. Wow, where's the go-to spot now in Hammond, America? Sextras, we used to call it back in the day.
Why did you spend so much time there?
It was a nice little dip out.
Did you go to school there too?
I did a summer there.
Dip out or dip
and
in.
I lived with my buddy at his camp on Tickfall.
That sounds like me at Northwestern.
Yeah, and we would we would throw these, like summer on the Tickfall. Because you can get into a lot of trouble.
It's before you,
A lot of trouble. I mean,
you
this
start
is
hearing
like
those birds chirping.
prop
That
stop, like waking up in like towns I've never heard of, man. Like
Where are we?
Chickapin. I'm like, say what?
You got gas?
Can you get me back to Hammond?
Anywhere
I got a
close to
class
home?
here in about 20 minutes that I gotta make.
You got class in 20 minutes.
Hammond is birdchirping.com in the morning. Like, oh, I think it's time to go,
it
fellas.
is.
like, oh, that's
What
Let's
happened?
get out of here.
What happened? This
Sun's here?
sunburn. The sunburn is brutal,
Oh
man.
my
Everybody.
god!
I mean, my neck is purple right now. What happened?
It's 4 a.m. That's where you can get away with sleeping outside, sleeping on the dock. What? I'm ready.
One
What
time
you boys
One
doing?
time we ended up on this poker run, boys. I've never heard of a poker run in my life.
What is that?
It's like these. You get on like
Rounders?
these cigarette boats, like these speed boats, and like you go bar to bar, and you pick up these cards, and you get just hammered. You know what I mean? Like you're in like just, like this totally different. Like something I have never seen this weekend. In fact, our boy Blake Abear, who's our lawn guy over here, Abear's Lawn Service, is on a huge poker run this weekend. He sent me a video yesterday. I don't know. It's crazy. We're talking about this.
Tickfall 200 poker run. You can sign up for it. It's May 4th through the 6th.
I'm telling you,
it's coming up.
That's what I'm saying. It was huge. And it was one of the
This
wildest
sounds illegal.
times. It was one of the wildest times of my life, man. I'm telling you, like, it is still to this day, I still can't believe the stuff that I saw. Yo.
Do you know the rules to a poker run?
No.
Obviously
No
not.
way.
All right, I got it right here.
I couldn't name a rule of a poker run if you had a gun to my head right
I didn't
now.
think we had cards.
I think we're just gonna pick up some cards, pick
Right.
up a little drink.
Yeah.
And I think you like get back to the headquarters and everybody plays poker with the cards, like with the handout.
So here we go. How to play. You get 11 stops, 11 cards, and you have 5 cards to play. You start picking up cards 12 p.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from any stops on the run. The more stops you visit, the more cards you collect, and the greater your chances for a winning hand. So please visit and hang out and have as much fun as you can. Cards must be turned in by 7 p.m. on Saturday at the Fun House. Come rain, flash flood, hurricane, broke down, jail, whatever. No rain outs.
Jeez.
Only one winner per category. In case of a tie hand, the winner will be determined by a high card cut. This year we will pay for a royal flush of spades, $5,000. Best hand,
I'm telling you.
$2,000. Second hand, $1,500. Third hand, a smooth K. Worst hand, $200. So you could have actually made out with $200
At this point, I mean, like,
2-7 offsuit.
I mean,
He didn't know.
I didn't even know we were on a poker run until like an hour and a half in.
Who's got the Joker?
I'm like, what are we doing? Why do we keep leaving and get these cards? Like, hurry up, man. Get on the boat.
I'm getting daiquiri. I didn't know that they did this, but
Me
this
either. It
is
was
unbelievable.
It was
the
unreal.
bathroom trying to roll one.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's Jordy?
Oh,
Y'all
they're
good?
leaving.
Hold on. Y'all good with this, huh? You good?
Who got the lighter?
It was
That's awesome.
summer on the tick fall, though. I advise it to every 18 to 21-year-old.
Oh.
After that, get the hell out of there.
And never drive the boat or try to launch the boat
No.
or try to pull the boat
Or
up.
try to tie the boat up. I'm out. I'm
They-
actually doing any of that.
And my friends make me do that. They think it's a funny bit that I have to back up the trailer. And I'm like, boys, you know that I'm from
Like,
the city.
Y'all must want to lose a truck.
Yeah, and they trust me. Country Lloyd comes out about once a year, and he ain't no joke. He'll catch a fish, he'll shoot a gun.
I will tell you this. You do learn very quickly the definition of a short man disease
Yeah.
with a boat. So
Oh, my
you
God.
add a boat to the equation, dude. I had no idea because I'm a short dude. You know what I mean? But, like, it don't stop me. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you when I get my money right, I'm not buying a speedboat. Because
Brad.
that looks like the purchase of choice for every little man in the world.
So many of us here.
I mean, it's just like I looked around. It was like I had no idea that the dwarves run the whole fucking speedboat.
Well,
I got the money. Now
Well,
I
you-
need this boat.
that's the thing about a boat. You don't got to reach the pedals.
Right, yeah, right.
Got this thing right here, coach.
I mean, the guy we were with was like standing on the seat driving, dude. I was like, dude, you want me to help you out with that? I can
We
see over
could.
the mirror at least.
Nothing better than when you look back on a boat run and he just got one eye closed and you're just like, oh man, he's worse off than I am.
This is not good.
I might have to take over here in a second. I did get in a little drag race on the way over here. He definitely goes to Catholic because he took Acadian and he was in a little like car and then we just saw each other hitting the interstate. We both looked at each other and it was on, coach.
Drag racing with high school kids.
Whenever he exited,
He's
Acadian,
17, I'm 32.
it felt good.
But that's highschool.com. Like, you see an older guy, you're like, I'm about to
Oh,
play-
we
I'm
both,
about to-
dude,
I'm
we
about to
locked
race
eyes.
this
We was
dude.
like, we both knew it was on. Yeah. He had a little
Pull up
Acura.
at the light, like,
Put it in neutral.
I beat him onto the interstate because, you got to jostle to see who's getting in front of who. So I beat him there, and then it was on after that. And I was like, I knew this was coming.
oh, you want to fight?
And so I beat him. I got him twice, but he beat me to Acadian. And then he rolled his window down, and I rolled my window down, and we both gave a little salute. It's like, I'm going way too fast, but I'm going to be on time today.
Dude. That is awesome.
But my man,
No, the next boat I
that
buy.
kid's up to no good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He's
Just
in
like
trouble.
you, Lloyd.
Yeah, he's probably in trouble.
The next boat I buy will be my first for sure. And if I buy a boat, I'm buying a captain with it. You know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't have nothing
I'm not touching this thing, bro.
This thing come with a captain.
Get me to that poker run.
Yeah. Well, that's the best thing about being from here is somebody's got a boat.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have to do
That's the
anything.
deal.
Here's $20 for gas.
Absolutely.
We're good.
Right.
I got the ice chest.
I had no idea how many little men I knew.
Yeah.
You firing that boat up today or what?
But then they get cocky and like, you want to drive the boat? And you're like, I'll drive the boat.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Then you're like, I don't really know how to do this. It's not hard, but you can
You can
get a
screw it
little
up
wayward.
real quick.
Get a little
You can
wayward
screw
on
it
the
up
trip.
real quick.
Yep.
Real quick. Real quick.
Why don't we stop and pee?
I'm not the boat driving guy.
No. It is fun though.
It is fun.
I'm a
but-
big. Is this a good place to float? Stop that thing. Get in the water.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the play.
That's the only move. Then
That's
you
the
put
play.
I do the life vest around the legs
Absolutely.
like a diaper.
Or just one of those noodles,
Oh yeah, double noodle,
the double noodle.
and then you can drown.
Depends on how many
Just
you're
float.
drinking.
Yeah. Throw me that.
Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Katie's Restaurant, our friend Katie's Restaurant down in New Orleans. If you're down in the city today, go step in and check our friend Scott Craig out over at Katie's Restaurant. Katie'sInMidCity.com. He's on Iberville Street. It's a great spot for everybody in the neighborhood. If you want to go check out the the feel and the vibe of New Orleans, go check out our friends over at Katie's. Don't forget about his sister's restaurant, Francesca's by Katie's. Francesca's by Katie's is located in Lakeview. Stop in and see him today. katiesinmidcity.com. katiesinmidcity.com. We'll be right back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, built by our friends over at RMB. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done. Corrects done. Personal injury done. Workers' comp done. Truck wrecks done. Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done.
In 1975, Mike Anderson left the gridiron for the grill, opening a po' boy shop near LSU. If you're from Louisiana, odds are you've tasted a dish, experienced the tradition of Mike Anderson's seafood. 48 years later, the tradition of Mike Anderson's lives on with the next generation.
I'm very thankful.
He's never allowed okay to be okay. It's a driving force for me to just want to keep it as good as he made it.
Mike Anderson's Seafood and WAFB, celebrating the community. Jordy Culotta Show here. Live here on this Wednesday. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. Shay's going to be with us tomorrow. Josh Pate's going to be with us tomorrow. We'll take your phone calls, your interaction, if you want to jump inside of the chat, or you can call, as always, 225-229-7741. You can text into the show. In that break, my dad sent me a picture of a boat
that he just bought.
I don't know. He's another one. I don't know what he's gonna do with a boat. My reply to him was, "Did you hire a captain?"
Captain Stabbin.
I told the story on Easter. We went and celebrated. My dad, for whatever reason, has kicked up. He's now this outdoorsman. He's turned into like this.
This is a crisis.
I don't know what's going on. He's got himself like a camp. I won't give away the coordinates because I think it's like his little duck off. But he's got now this place on water that we went and celebrated Easter at with a bunch of crawfish and family, and it was awesome. And he asks everybody if they want to go out on a boat ride. Like, all of his kids are like, no, we're good. And like, my sister, like with the grandkids, are like, no, y'all come here. Like, no, not right now, Dad, not right now. I'm like, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead. You see what this thing's like. So he's taking his sister and a couple of people, and he's like, on the way out, he's driving. As they're pulling back in, Jordan's driving the boat.
We passed this off.
Standing up. Dad's got the rope in the front, trying to throw it, hit the buoy. He throws it and hits the water. He just sent me a picture of the boat. I'm like, what are you going to do? Did you get a captain, man? I mean, what are you going to do with this thing?
He has a captain, Jordy.
Yeah, right. The 12-year-old.
You got your boater's license? There's nothing worse than getting pulled over by those people.
Well, because you're dead.
You're dead.
Yeah, they can
because
take
I don't
they
have,
can take everything.
Whatever they're asking for, I can guarantee you I do not have it. I don't have a boating license.
And they can take everything. How'd you get this boat here? Well, I pulled it on my truck. Cool, we'll take that too.
Yeah, here's this. Like,
where do you house it at? My house. We'll take that too. You're like, whoa.
Hold on.
I bought it through my company. You can have that?
Yeah. There's nothing worse. They pull up on you and you're just like,
oh my God.
I don't have my wallet. Like, I mean, what are we going to do?
Everything around here is wet.
Right. It's not even my boat.
Exactly. I actually don't know anybody here.
Hi right now.
Are we all good? Are y'all fishing? Like, no, I didn't catch anything.
I'm on a poker run, sir.
Yeah. Oh, get in the back.
You have a card?
I'll trade you.
I'll trade you a beer for a card.
I need 5 new ones.
How we looking over there, Stu? Any texts?
Kenny just texted in.
What you got?
Good morning, everyone. Kenny from the river. Hey, Jordy. You buy a boat, I'll come and run for you.
Thank you,
I'm
Kenny.
a licensed captain.
Thank you. Done.
You've
passed the interview process, Kenny. The job is yours. As soon as I purchase this vessel, you're my first call. Here's the key. Make it happen, bro.
Put that little floater thing on it.
Get me to the next stop.
Yeah, you gotta
get me to the prop stop.
Gotta get the floater thing.
Yeah,
on
you gotta
the
get
boat key.
my boat key.
There's nothing better than being just the accompaniment on the boat where you have no idea where they're going. And it's like, are we getting gas? Yeah, we need gas.
Just look the part.
Yeah,
the hat on, dude.
See,
got the boat shoes.
My play was
fresh board shorts.
My play was my dad's old
military hat. No doubt.
Oh,
just
yeah.
threw the military hat on.
Getting saluted everywhere you go. Like,
you were in the military? Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
No doubt. Can I get a free worm bucket?
Yeah. Why don't you get a beer for your former soldier?
I appreciate that.
Get a worm bucket at the prop stop next time you go.
God bless. I mean, your dad might be going to this poker run.
No way, dude. No way.
I mean, if he needs a squad.
No way. He'd get eaten up in a poker run at this point, dude. He needs to just keep it where he is and keep cutting circles and get it back to the dock.
Y'all want to make a donut? Get the tube out. I'll show these boys
Bro, you
how
ski
it's
on
done.
Tickfall. It's a death wish.
Oh yeah, there's this. I don't know if it was in Tickfall. It was in. This is actually sad. It was in northern Louisiana. No, it might have been Tickfall. But they were tubing and they slung a girl, off the tube into a nest of moccasins. Dead.
Oh my!
Talk about the worst way to go out of all time.
Good.
Wait.
So she fell off the tube into the side. Into a dark spot.
Into like a bank of snakes.
Into the bank.
The bank of snakes and was just brutal.
Ooh.
Oh my!
Talk about ruining it, a vibe killer.
Just get the whole vibe.
I mean, yeah. What do we do with this?
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah. Guess I'll go home now. Poker run's done.
Gotta go home. Karen just died.
Yeah. Hold on. We got to get one more card. We'll take her with it. We'll be fine.
One more stop. Let's get to 10 Lizzies. Hour 2, we're going to talk more. Get your questions in 225-229-7741. 225-229-7741 is the phone number to get involved. We'll always take your questions inside of the chat. Jacques claiming he got food poison, but Stewie said he followed all of his feed last night for the LSU Southeastern game. We're banking him stopping on one of those daiquiri shops in Hammond, America on the way back to Baton Rouge. He did claim he'll be here on Friday morning, so Jacques will be here this week.
Jacques seems like a daiquiri guy, though.
I agree.
Big daiquiri guy.
I agree. The poll question is up. Southern Eye Center poll question of the day. Is Jacques' claim of food poisoning real or not? I will read you the text. It's very informational. And
It's almost over-explaining?
It's almost a little bit of an over-explanation. This is at 6:31 this morning.
So it's
My
almost a
apologies, but it seems I had some bad food at the baseball game last night. Jambalaya, I think. I had fever and felt awful most of the night. Threw up at 5 a.m. and feeling better, but just can't come in this morning. Maybe Thursday or Friday. Sorry again.
Job.
I don't know, John.
It's a lot of info for a sick guy.
Maybe
It's a lot
jambalaya.
of time, yeah. Threw up at 5. Got
Mix some
fever,
water in.
feel
Jesus.
better. Like,
He thought about this one.
yeah, right.
That's a
Go
copy.
back to sleep, Jock. I get it, dude. I get it.
It's a copy and paste. He has to send to WFB once a month.
Right.
That's like
Jordy hadn't heard the food poisoning.
That's the
I
all-time.
can still get Culotta on the food poison. I
All
sent
right.
this to Steve 1,000 times.
Scratch this one off the list.
That's all time trying to get out of something like.
No
I
doubt.
think I got food poisoning, man. Like, the damn jambalaya.
I know I ate jambalaya. I woke up at 5 throwing up. I had fever. I'm starting to feel a little better, but I'm going to shut it down today.
I'm still in Hammond. Have y'all heard about this poker run that they're doing?
It's the Tickfall 2000 this weekend. What do you want from me? What do you want from
I've
me?
been working out all year for this. Shock's about to pop the top.
About a boat.
About a boat. Waiting for this insurance to come through.
But Jacques, don't feel bad. I'm the king of these.
Yes.
So don't feel bad. Yeah. I get it. If there's anybody that ever understands a back out, it's me.
Same.
Yeah, Jordy's,
Especially at the last minute.
yeah, Jordy's positioned himself in such a great spot.
Right.
To where it's just like,
I get it. I
yeah,
get it.
it's expected. I do it one time for a fur ball, and I'm still
a terrible
castigated
person.
from
Right,
Katie's
Lloyd.
life.
You're still thought of as like a stand-up guy.
I'm a leper.
You're still. People still respect you.
Oh, just tech tiger droppings.
Oh god.
They got it. They're mad at me about the Milazzo interview. My God.
Are they?
Oh, I said 2 questions. Like,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, in that.
who's
where
this dumb fuck talking?
you, in that where you read that they love Polian?
Yeah.
Well, don't. I mean, don't get too
I'm
bad
saying,
about
I
it.
mean, I didn't know you could mouth breathe on your keyboard and it typed for you. It's impressive.
Get your questions in. What do you got, Stewie? You're reading something pretty intently over there.
Is that from
I
John?
don't know who this is. I don't know who this is. Let's see. No names on this. Speaking of coaches that need to be careful about hiring their friends on their staff, what do y'all think of Kirby Smart's college roommate Mike Bobo as his OC?
I think that he's the 2-time national champ with the #1 recruiting class in the country.
And then,
I'll continue to trust Kirby until he screws it up.
then he finishes the message by saying, Saban was far too kind with Bill O'Brien, and it probably cost us Drake May.
Oh, us.
Yeah, big bang.
Okay, big Bama guy.
That's Hunter Hallman.
I got you. I got you. Well, I mean, look, they do believe that he hung on to Bill O'Brien a bit too long, but I'm not gonna criticize Kirby at this point, man.
Is there anybody more incestuous than Nick Saban and Bill Belichick?
No.
Where they're just, here, you take him. No, you take him.
Matt Patricia,
You can have him back.
You could call
Yeah.
plays. You've never called plays before.
Right,
You
and then
call
he's
plays,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Where did Dayball come from for Saban? Where was he before that? He was with New York?
that's where he is now.
No, he's the head coach there. But was he the quarterbacks coach with the Giants when they got
I
him?
think he was the quarterbacks coach with the Giants.
He came from the Chiefs.
Did he come from the Chiefs?
And then he went to Alabama.
Brian Dayball vape is
Oh, the legendary. Did you see him
He's
vaping?
ripping that vape.
Oh, yeah. And he knows the camera's
Never
on him, and he
doubt.
looks right at it.
don't care.
No.
I love Dayball.
We're winning.
Yeah, right. Run me out of here.
Giants have
I'll have
been
a job
good
in 10 minutes.
15 years.
I mean, Mike McDaniel's vaping on the sideline.
Well, that's expected.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit the vape.
That might have been weed.
He was the Browns offensive coordinator before he got
Cleveland.
to Alabama.
Okay.
Browns.
That was with like Odell and Jarvis.
Good Lord, he's got a resume.
Yep.
Patriots, Jets, Browns, Dolphins, Chiefs, Patriots, Alabama, Bills, head coach for the Giants.
Wow.
And doing it.
He's still pretty young, too, isn't he?
He is
I'm saying 38.
48.
48. Wow, he doesn't look that old.
No, he looks good. I mean, they keep you young.
Yeah, he was the Patriots receiver coach from 02 to 07.
God, it's so incestuous.
Well, 06. And then he was the quarterbacks coach in 07.
Graduate assistant at Michigan State under?
Nick Saban.
Mark D'Antoni.
No, under Nick Saban.
Was
Nick
he?
Saban,
Really?
baby.
Wow. Old Nicky.
Why are we talking about Dayball?
I don't know. I don't know what we got there. I don't know how we got there, but hey.
Oh, Bobo. What has he been doing?
Bobo's been at Colorado, right?
Yes.
Where's Bobo
He
been?
was
Colorado
at
State?
I think it was Colorado State. Let's see. See what
Oh,
Mike
Auburn
Bobo is.
OC quarterbacks coach in 21. Georgia offensive analyst, and now OC quarterbacks coach.
So he's just been hiding him.
Yeah,
He's
just
been
stashing him away.
He Will Muschamped him.
Yep. He went to Colorado State.
Muschamp's his defensive coordinator now,
Is
right?
he?
I mean, because Lanning took the Oregon job, and Muschamp was like an analyst.
Yeah, that was bizarre because you just think
I mean,
he'd be doing something
but
more
you know
than that.
why? Because Muschamp's kid was on the team, and Muschamp wanted to watch his son play. So Kirby, rather than him going to getting a job with Saban, being his analyst, puts him on his staff.
Your kid can play.
Here, I'll let you watch your kid play, and I'll pay you to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, hang
Got
out
the best
here.
seat in the house.
And then Lanning's going to get a job a year from now, and you'll be the defensive coordinator for the Champs.
How about that?
What do you think about that?
Then you can go to Philadelphia and coach all your old players if you want.
I mean, Georgia's a machine right now.
Yes.
This is the
Are
way.
they the favorite to three-peat? I mean, are they the
This
favorite
is the
year?
way it happens, though. This is how the Rome also was torn down.
No doubt.
You can get a little comfortable, and hopefully, if you're
And they got some bad juju around them. You know, that bless you.
bless you.
I mean, that parade with the
Oh, yeah, the stuff that happened after the
I
parade.
mean, after the parade, and the car accidents, and the Jalen Carter being caught up in that
Oh
situation.
yeah,
and
true.
Georgia is the favorite.
are they the favorite?
They don't have who's their quarterback?
It's a one word. It's a one syllable.
This is what we're gonna
Carson Beck.
Beck. Yeah, Carson Beck.
Yeah, because they have Brock Vandegrift.
have. Oh, Jackson Muschamp is still on the roster.
I guess Vandergrift's staying.
Yeah, he said
He was one of the big names to watch in the portal.
How hard
like
do
a
you
Nussmeier
think?
situation, I would think.
Yeah, I guess if you're in Georgia, you probably know it a lot better. I think that the Nussmeier story was a much bigger national story than it was local because I never expected Garrett to leave.
Me neither.
I mean, if he would have put his name in the portal, I would have been
Shocked.
floored.
Yeah.
Shocked.
I think he would have did it like last year around
No
this
doubt.
time, not
And I
this
think he
year.
would have done it a week and a half ago. He wouldn't have done it on Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to play like the tinfoil hat theory, he was probably getting a slew of phone calls.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
I'm
for
sure, like they were inquiring, like
doubt.
every school in the country.
I mean, if
save for five,
Saban's taken Tyler
Buckner,
I guarantee you he texted Vandegrift and Nussmeier.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Garrett.
hey, we watched some spring games. You got a serious chance to start in Tuscaloosa. You interested?
Walker Howard, you look good too.
Like, all right,
take 'em
Tommy
out.
Reese, send that text message to old Tyson Buckner, and I guess we'll take him.
Yeah. Tell him he's a take.
This is your problem now.
That's why
I love the fact that they're on Buckner.
That's
though.
why he was so sad at the draft.
I know.
He knew he had just took a bum.
Just like
He was-
from Bryce Young to Tyler Buckner.
He was sitting like my granddaddy sits at the draft, like halfway on the chair, halfway off the chair. Like
Bring me my pretzels.
Just
Yeah.
like kind of like balled up.
I'm watching my dynasty fall right in front of me. There it goes.
Like,
And
Will
now
Anderson,
LSU's
Bryce
got a
Young.
coach.
Two quarterbacks.
Kirby's won back-to-back natties. He's about to be the first coach ever to win it 3 straight in a row.
And guess what I got? Buckner.
Tyler
I got Buckner on line 1 for you.
Somebody's asking what is the picture behind Jordy's head that says Alabama?
It's the play-by-play from LSU, Alabama,
80.
1982, when they won. I believe it was in Birmingham, or not Birmingham. It might have been in Birmingham. But it's a play-by-play of that game where LSU won. Let me make sure.
It finally got straightened out. Unfortunately, it was crooked for quite a while, and it was driving everybody nuts. But I guess Katie came behind my back, that snake,
What?
before she went to Boca and straightened out the frame.
Boca.
I mean, I don't blame her.
LSU won 2010.
Oh, what a game.
First win over Bama since 1970.
Jesus.
It's been a problem for a while, huh?
Yeah. Like,
Oh, that's the Bear.
That's the Bear. It's the Bears' last game. LSU vaulted from 11th to
Basically
5th
killed the guy.
in the national rankings. He died 30 days later.
Uh-huh.
jeez.
LSU's defensive front seven cited as the SEC Lineman of the Week by the AP. LSU's defense ranked number 1 in the nation. Bear Bryant said after the game, "We were out-coached, we were out-hit. We beat them bad last year, and they turned around and beat us more than the score should have been. And they did it the old-fashioned way." Jerry Stovall, the head coach of LSU, said, "Without a doubt, this is the biggest victory I've ever had as a coach." November 6th, 1982.
They had lost 11 straight to the Crimson Tide. And do you know who the quarterback was?
For
LSU?
1982 was the Slidell Slinger, Alan Risha. And the Bama quarterback Shula?
That is a good question.
Mike Shula? I know he lost to LSU. It might have been 87, 88. I don't know.
They got the box score here at Sports Reference. Let's see who was slinging it.
What you got?
Alan
Steve?
Risher was a stud.
He was.
Cordell texted.
He could sling it.
Cordell says,
He had the highest completion percentage before Burrow.
Really?
Who is this?
Alan Risher.
Damn.
You can tell he's from Slidell if you ever talk to him.
Cordell
Talks to his
says,
teeth like this.
Real slow, real confident.
Culotta, when he shakes his hand, he's
No,
very
you know.
oh,
confident.
God.
Being Stovall.
You know that blonde over there in the corner, Culotta?
Man, back in
I don't know
82,
her.
she'd have been mine.
He got a great smile, I tell you that.
I'm 7.
I love the slinger, bro.
Me too.
I love him.
Oh, talk about if you
I love
listen.
him.
If you want to get some Alan Risher, just listen to the Buddy Sanji show.
Oh, I bet.
That's a quick call.
Call the Rish.
Carry a guy. If somebody dropped off, we got to get Risher. Risher or Red Davis.
That's awesome. Hit me.
Cordell texted in, says, "Thanks to y'all support in my brand. I use y'all as a reference to Colin Hurley and Tavion Galloway.
Let's go.
I'm now working on getting them some gear."
Let's go.
Let's go. Blood, sweat, tears, baby.
Love it. I was wearing the sweatshirt the other day at the house.
Feel free to send in some beats.
Another one, Derek P. "If you want in on the Tickfall 200, come aboard. I'm a licensed riverboat captain."
Hell yeah.
That sounds like we might run into
Who was that?
Orgeron.
It is Derek P.
Panamsky.
They're making fun of Panamsky.
License is a strong word, we found out.
He's also a licensed football coach.
But a fishing hole. God, that was a wild show.
That was nuts, bro.
Hold on.
That Sunday night, we didn't have anything to talk about. And Jordy just starts going down this rabbit hole of the Orgeron fishing story. And I was just bored hopping, and I was like, I don't know if he's supposed to be saying this because Orgeron wasn't even fired yet. And I was like, I watched the views go from like 250, 350, 550, 850. And I was like, I don't think this little laptop's going to be able to handle what's going on right now.
This is not good.
This place is smoking. No Kayshawn Booty, but I have a story for you.
That was Sunday night.
Wait, was that the Orgeron
That was
wants
the
to take us fishing?
UCLA.
Oh, God.
And when I tell you, he kicked in this man's door, and I was like, I'm hearing this for the first time, and I was like, oh my God, we might have something here. Got a story. We're about to be in the news. Hey,
the stories from Orgeron are just like,
Oh, they're unreal.
You wouldn't even believe them, but
They're
like they're true.
unbelievable.
he'll be there this weekend.
They are unreal. At the Tickfall 200.
Oh yeah,
bro.
Oh, Jesus.
Shirt off. He's the hood ornament of the prop stop.
Now let me tell you.
Back your boat up. Come here, honey. Let me help you off.
Let me tell you when I was a coach at LSU.
Did you watch the Tigers in 2019?
I don't
You know
think
Joe Burrow recruited him.
You want me to FaceTime him?
y'all want some crawfish.
I called Bryce Langston for you too.
I don't think you could cut Ed. Dude, Langston's gonna be a player.
Yeah, he better be.
At some point,
He better be.
At some point, Bryce
Anthony
Langston-
Bradford.
Yeah.
I mean,
Got him drafted.
Orgeron was on Anthony Bradford in 2012. You know what I mean? Like, you ask O about Anthony Bradford in 2016 when he got the defensive line. That boy's a player. I'm telling you, he's going to be a pro. Like, Anthony Bradford? Are you sure?
Yep.
It was a 6'3", 400 pounds.
I coach the team, don't I?
Grade.
Yeah. Like, I see him every day.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, Anthony Bradford?
If it ain't gonna be him, it's gonna be Trevante Valentine.
Oh my goodness! Couldn't keep him on the field for a play.
I've never seen anybody breathe harder.
Bradford was like, he was like one of those like one of those guys like in the bull. He was like just like chauffeuring
Show pony.
defensive lineman back to the backfield.
Got drafted 4th rounder.
No, early on he was.
Oh,
He turned
yeah.
into a player.
Oh, he's a
Turned
player.
But at first it was like, all right,
Are you sure you're talking about this guy?
What are we seeing here?
Right.
Tell y'all Sage Ryan's gonna play this week.
God damn that.
Sage Ryan sat on the bench until Florida.
We were desperate for safety too. Like we needed a guy.
Unreal. It was unreal. Like,
Not only
why don't you play Sage Ryan?
He's
Sage
hurt.
will play this week and we'll start.
He's hurt.
Like,
Yeah. All right, Ed.
I don't get it.
We'll take that
I don't
information.
understand. I don't understand. Like he's standing right there. Like, just tell him to get in the game.
And then the best would be when he got asked after, he'd be like, yeah, coach decision.
I was on the headset. I was talking to his coach.
Healthy scratch.
I trust his coach, and his coach didn't want him to play.
Like, all right, Ed. Like, just give
Those
me
walls.
But I promise you'll see him next week.
15 will be out there. The walls were closing in so fast,
man.
and he knew nothing but to fight.
I mean, after
it was-
UCLA, the walls were.
Yeah.
I mean,
He knew it.
punched
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I mean, he knew it. I mean, he was screaming, "Fire me!"
The picture of Scott Woodward on the sideline was the one that I was like, oh yeah, he's ready to fire his ass. Like he's ready to fire everybody.
Scott Woodward was doing the high school texting in his pocket. Like, what?
Somebody
okay.
got Brian Kelly's
Yeah,
number.
what's Brian Kelly doing? You don't have
Is
the
Brian Kelly on
resources.
Facebook?
Hit him on Messenger.
Lou Holtz will take over that job.
God.
You
Is Lou
know-
Holtz still alive?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lou's out there clicking and clacking.
Think we get another year of game day with Corso?
I hope
Ooh,
not
that's
for his
a good
sake.
question.
Jeez.
At what point does this become?
It's almost like torture.
It's almost like a crime.
'Cause, like,
I
They're
mean,
the same
Corso
age.
didn't have anybody in his family. It's like, all right, enough,
leave.
enough.
Stay home.
Like,
Who is gonna hold down the Sunshine Scooter?
And who's gonna hold his hand?
You know what they're doing.
Herb Street was out there holding that man's hand.
That's
last
why
year.
Herb Street
Like,
picked up the bat
Yeah,
phone and
like-
called McAfee. Like we need some juice.
we need life.
We need yeah.
Because it's like a real death over here.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of like, is he gonna die today?
no doubt.
He had his moment though. The
Wait,
Corso, when he he just started swearing on air.
Yeah.
And then that was when it was over. That was his last shining moment.
Fuck it. Give me that head.
Give me that head. He shoots a gun.
That's what, like, that's the missing part of game day, though.
Yeah. Right.
Who do you think goes first? And by go, I mean retire. Vital
I don't know if we're
or
gonna play this game, do we?
Dickie V or Lee Corso?
Oof. God.
Dickie V's only 83. Corso's 86.
I just
It feels like they're
you're gonna have
shoving
to fire.
Vital.
You're gonna have to fire both of them.
Yeah. They're like kicking the can.
And I think that's the issue. I think people are scared at ESPN to be like, "You fire him." No, you fire him.
I'm not firing Lee
I'm
Corso.
not firing Dick Vitale.
You
I'm not
fire
putting that on my resume.
yeah.
I would be a PTPer if I
Jeez,
fired him.
I wish I was there. Give me the goddamn file. I'll do this.
Dick,
Hey, Dick, take a seat. Close the door real quick.
Actually, you don't have to come in.
Dick, you're fired. See ya.
Thank you. You better get a TO, baby.
We already packed your shit.
Oh goodness! But I mean, they had their chance to get rid of both of them, right?
Absolutely.
With COVID, that would have been the
Absolutely.
not kill them.
I still cannot believe that they shuffle Lee Corso out there.
Oh, they had him like didn't they have him like in his house with a bounce house and everything?
It's-
Like grandkids playing.
Yeah, they would go live. They would remote him in, and he was just like in his backyard. He's like, you're watching a puttering old
I
man.
mean, like, what are we doing?
You gotta
Am
see
I
him.
taking this guy's takes on a 20-year-old? Like, I mean, like, I'm depending on this guy to give me some facts on what Brian Thomas is going to do to get open today.
Malik Neighbors.
Like, I don't mean to be disingenuous, but I mean, this is a crime.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was my grandfather, I'd be like, enough. Like, let's do a tribute to him. Let's show maybe some old clips when he was spry and could complete a sentence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this has become
It's
bad television.
I mean, this is terrible.
Because now you get nervous when he's
Absolutely
up there.
you do.
He's lost.
He's just up there holding a pencil.
I couldn't imagine being Reese Davis trying to host that. You know, where you have to serve this softball up to this guy
who can't
You don't
swing.
even know if he can like bunt this thing. I don't even know if he can
off
like.
his shoulders.
What sport are we talking about? Where are we? And you're like, yeah, call Chris Fowler. I need the big guns.
Just
And Herb Street's just like
Herb Street's the star.
he's making content out of course.
Yeah,
So
I
like
mean-
before, he'll like catch him like in the break room like stealing snacks. and he's like asking him about the games, and he's like, "I like Bama today, but Georgia."
right.
like
Sweet. Thanks.
see you
So
later,
does my
like-
8-year-old.
But I mean, that's why they brought McAfee in, and then McAfee
Yeah.
got hit with the full force of old College Game Day. And the
No
old
doubt.
guard's like, "Who's this guy wearing a tank top on TV?" And he's like, "Oh my God, he's about to." I mean, he
like, "All
belly
right."
flops into the river from 25 feet up off a boat, and they were all telling him like. Every exec's like, dude, you can't do. He's like, I'm already up here. I'm already up here.
Don't do this, dude.
He's like, there's one way down.
Don't do this. Don't
Can
do
I
this.
shotgun a beer?
It's unbelievable.
Pat, no.
But it was the best game day's been since Corso was young.
No doubt.
They revived that whole show,
They
and
did.
it was all because of Herb Street. It was like begged him. He was like, please.
You got to do this.
And then they gave him his own show on ESPN2 to do the night games where he gets to watch it from his house and just do a watch party. It's like, pretty fair trade.
Him with the belt buckle at Texas is probably the all-timer.
Yeah.
like it's just like a big like fuck you to all the Texas
Yeah,
people.
and he was wearing the bolo tie.
He's a trip, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's a trip. All right, good Wednesday. We appreciate you stopping by. Tomorrow we'll have Shay Dixon. We will also have Chris Blair. We will also have Josh Pate. Good show. Looking forward to it tomorrow. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. If you have not subscribed to the show,
Or like the show.
make sure you do that before you get out of here. My dad sent me an update text message. One of my brother-in-laws, who is a avid outdoorsman, both of them, has been titled as the captain, which is
So you're out.
I didn't expect to be in, but I
Didn't want to be
I didn't
in.
know. I didn't know his list. I will say that is a pretty good list. That's
The
a good
portal
list.
was closed.
That's a good list. That's a good list.
When do you expect any announcements from?
I mean,
When does, like,
Anissa Morrow? I mean, I'm ready for her to commit.
Yeah.
when does football crank back up? Like, how much time do they have to get into the building?
I guess it's just before the summer. Like I would think that everybody in the portal right now, you got to finish this semester where you're at. Like Haley Van Lith is still on Louisville's campus.
Yeah.
And I think that was that was one of the reasons that she kind of probably slow played it as long as possible was that
she
she
knew
was
she had to
like,
go to school.
man, I got to go to class. You know what I mean? Like I got to walk through campus. I got to get gas and get something to eat in Louisville. I mean, like it's just people are going to be like, but I would imagine that all of these subjects have to finish the semester. So,
Subjects.
Subjects.
right, prospects.
Prospects.
I meant finishing the subjects. It's got to be soon.
That's what I'm saying, because I mean, you would want to be on campus as soon as you can. When does the Catholic high kids or the kids that didn't early enroll, when does that happen too? I'm just worried. Not
do you
worried.
mean?
I'm just wondering when they get on campus, and I'd imagine that the transfer portal would be around the same time.
Wait, when do they get on campus? Like in the summer?
Right? Like is
June 1st is when they report.
Yeah. I think everybody
and
reports.
so
the
that's
same
probably
day.
when you'd have
Like
to
you go to
be-
like summer school and you'll start your off-season program. But I mean, like, let's be honest. If Shelton Sampson is not already on LSU's off-season program, he's going to step in there way behind. I'm not claiming he's not, but like,
Right.
they've already been on it.
Yeah.
But
They've
you-
been.
I mean,
But I mean, somebody like, give me a true freshman on campus right now,
Tavion.
has a huge advantage over those guys.
that was going to be my comparison is Emory Jones. Imagine if you were able to get him on campus earlier, he would have started against Florida
Will
State.
Campbell.
Right.
I mean, that's the difference.
That's the two perfect parameters to compare
It
them.
took Emory Jones 3 games. Mm-hmm. Will Campbell was ready to go. Day
week one.
They won.
Against an NFL ready guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just like to see the rules change a little bit. Everybody should be able to early enroll. We don't have to go to prom. It's okay.
Yeah, it's actually like a school.
Yeah, it's a school thing.
It's a school
I think that's like a Catholic school thing too.
because U High doesn't allow it.
Oh wow.
Who
Who do we have to talk to?
Yeah, that's a rule.
I mean, that's really why Dylan Moses went to IMG.
So he could early roll.
Mm-hmm.
Smart man.
That was a smart move. So you'll probably see
Keelan? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know if I don't get the feeling that like Keelan feels as if he's got to follow his brother's path.
He's on his own.
Like he's on his own path. I really do. And I mean, I don't know whether or not that means he goes to IMG or not.
right.
But I don't get the feeling like he
seems
needs
Baton
that.
Rouge.
I don't get the feeling like he desires that.
Right.
You know? I mean, you got to remember when Dylan was a sophomore, their team was winning state championships.
Yeah.
Keelan got knocked out in the semis. That's something that he's
like, yeah.
he's trying to get. You know, he wants that ring
because they won he won as a freshman.
He did
right?
win it as a freshman. That was with Osbury and them.
Yeah,
Osbury was on this team last year.
Yeah, but they had both Osbury brothers.
Yeah,
in
both Osburys.
their squad.
But finals are
Next week.
Osbury in the portal?
Is he?
No.
I don't think he'd come to LSU anyway.
Depends on who recruits him.
Oh no, he can't come to LSU because you can't go conference to conference.
You talking about the older Osbury?
I'm talking about the younger
You're talking
one.
about Jaden.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Notre Dame, not Auburn.
Right.
We'll take both.
Give him a year.
I'm anxious to see Jaden play. I loved watching him play.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a player.
Who's the best you've seen in high school?
Ever?
Mm-hmm. Because you covered so many of those games.
Golly. The best I've ever seen, you know, when you're young, it always sticks with you.
Mm-hmm.
The best I've ever seen was Travis Minor at Catholic High.
We had a family to support.
But, I mean, like, Kendall Beckwith was phenomenal. I mean, he was one of the best high school football players I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, the night we called his game against Zachary, he was the quarterback, the punter, the middle linebacker. He was the kickoff man. He returned kickoffs. He did everything.
That's what Nick Jacobs did at Manning.
Russell Gage did that at Redemptorist.
Speedy Noyle was the punter.
I think Kenny Hilliard might be the best I've ever seen.
Kenny Hilliard was a killer. Bro.
Jesus. Like, find somebody to tackle him. Nobody.
Somebody broke his record, huh? Didn't he hold the state rushing record?
Nick Brissett broke it.
Oh,
Nick
well, yeah,
Brissett,
but he had
yeah.
the 8th grade year.
And then Trey Hollis.
I think I want to say Nick Brissett is like the national touchdowns record.
I think he does.
I mean,
have
it
the
was.
national touchdown record.
He was a touch. I mean, I started calling U High football Nick Brissett's 10th grade year. That was like Manny Miles, Nick Brissett, Garrett Brumfield, Trey. Who was a big boy? Went to Alabama. Big defensive end. Big boy.
Williams.
Williams was a stud.
Yeah. Hated Les Miles.
Loved Les Miles.
Oh, he loved Les Miles?
Because he was, you know, the fool kept running right at him.
Tim Williams.
Tim Williams. And, I mean, Brissett was a touchdown machine. I mean, he had to average 20 touchdowns a year, 25 touchdowns a year.
Scored 14 his senior year at LSU. Mm-hmm. Ran for 1,000 yards. I mean, Ed ran him into the ground.
2018, coach. Couldn't. Yeah.
I still remember him making that run against Georgia.
I still remember him making the run against Miami where Joe Burrow,
they
the
opened
first time
up,
I've seen an audible in my
Since Tommy
entire
Hudson.
my entire life. It's like we got a quarterback.
Did you see the list of rookies, or not rookies, the list of fifth-year players that did not get their option picked up? Patrick Queen, Caleb Von Chasson are in there.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they not pick up Queen?
I don't know.
They just signed Roquan Smith and
That's
they
right.
drafted a linebacker.
That's right.
They drafted.
Come on home.
I'm blanking on the name, but they drafted like a linebacker high.
Speaking of the portal, Finley's in the portal.
Yeah, TJ Finley.
Where's
I mean,
I don't know if there's a home.
you got to
for him.
stick. You got to stick somewhere.
Trying to think of what he's not. It's not going to be SEC.
Where's that tweet at, man? I'm looking for that tweet of the free agents on the fifth-year guy. It's a pretty impressive list.
They drafted Trent Simpson from Clemson. So they got Roquan Smith and Trent Simpson. So pretty much like a player that's the same as Patrick.
Ravens
Queen.
are kind of changing the whole makeup of the squad.
Well, they've paid somebody. Their money's changed.
You can't afford him. If you're the Saints, oh my God, because at some point the Demario Davis experiment will be over.
Chase Young.
I saw that.
Yeah, they're trying to trade him. They were trying to trade him.
They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. I'm telling you, the list is it's an all name list for sure. I mean,
I got you.
The production needs to pick up in the NFL, but
Chase Young, Isaiah Simmons, C.J. Henderson, Mekhi Becton.
They picked up Joe Burrows.
Yeah, Javon Kinlaw.
How long do you think that conversation was?
Jalen Rieger.
Yep.
Oh.
Caleb Chase on.
Patrick Queen, Clyde. Clyde.
Yep. Cesar Ruiz. He needs to go.
Oh, Clyde did get picked up.
They just re-signed McKinnon.
They signed.
And they already got.
They got Pacheco.
Yeah, Pacheco in the 7th round. So
cheap.
From?
Yeah.
Mississippi State.
No, he went to
Memphis.
Nope.
No, he went to not was it Indiana?
No, same colors.
No, Rutgers.
Yeah.
Damn.
Chopping wood.
Pacheco.
He's a player.
He's a player.
Was a stud in college. Just runs hard.
They picked up Tua's option. Okay.
They got to.
Yeah.
Javon Kinlaw.
That's just for the health insurance.
Jesus. My man needs to retire.
Needs to. Have a great Wednesday. We appreciate you being here with us. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Jam-packed show tomorrow. We got Shay, we got Chris Blair, and we're going to have Josh Pate. So come back with us tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. Have a good Wednesday. Be safe out there.